Welcome to News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss. Here now the news for September 23rd, 2020. Guess we'll have a little extra time to enjoy the Walt Disney World Resort this weekend, September 25th through the 27th, meaning some parks will be open after dark once again. The Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and Hollywood Studios closing times will be pushed back. Magic Kingdom will close at 7 p.m. Hollywood Studios will close at 8 p.m., an hour later than previously scheduled, while at Epcot, they'll close at 9 p.m., a 2-hour extension from the recent 7 p.m. closing time. Meanwhile, over at Disney's Animal Kingdom, the park will open at 8 a.m. all 3 days, an hour before its previous 9 a.m. opening. And guests also have an extra hour on Friday the 25th when the park closes at 6 p.m., an hour after it was scheduled to. You may recognize these hours. These are the same park hours that the parks reopened with back in July. In an abundance of caution, Run Disney has canceled the upcoming 2021 Walt Disney World Marathon weekend, as well as the 2021 Disney Princess Half Marathon weekend. To read the full announcement and details from Run Disney, you can head on over to WDWNT.com. Walt Disney World annual pass holders now get 30% off on select purchases on Shop Disney. All you have to do is use the promotion code AP30OFF at checkout. It's valid through October 11th. A new permit indicates that Walt Disney Imagineering will be replacing some graphics at It's a Small World in the Magic Kingdom. The permit is to, quote, remove and reinstall graphic at 1460 Magic Kingdom Drive, the street address of the attraction. Without more information, it's unknown what exactly Imagineering is planning on replacing at the ride. Could be any signage, inside or out. The It's a Small World queue recently received a complete refurbishment. As reported on just last year, the attraction was originally slated for a character overlay similar to Tokyo Disneyland and Disneyland Park, just in time for the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World next year. But it's unknown if those plans are still being thought about at this time due to the impacts of COVID-19. Magic Kingdom has opened the bypass street that takes guests behind buildings on the right-hand side of Main Street, USA, to mitigate crowds. This street opens up next to Tony's Town Square restaurant and empties next to the Tomorrowland Terrace. This is usually open on busy days. It's an easier way to get guests in and out of the park. Crowds during the parades or cavalcades that are being held currently are quite large, and so in order to make sure guests can travel down into the park with social distancing in mind, they have opened this bypass. Cinderella has only been appearing in the Royal Princess Processional for the past 2 months, but now she stepped out to greet guests at Princess Fairytale Hall at the Magic Kingdom. Cinderella stood under the building's overhang while waving at guests and blowing kisses. Stanchions kept guests a safe distance away from the princess. It's unknown if Cinderella will be making regular appearances here from now on, whether this was only because of the sort of overcast day. It wasn't raining, but it'll be interesting to see if this is a test for more socially distanced meet and greets rather than just cavalcades and processions. Magic Kingdom guests have long enjoyed the scenic view of Cinderella Castle at night, and of course, this popular stroll through the parks at night has become nearly impossible for most guests given the hours of operation that have been reduced since the parks reopened. We took the scene for granted during the pre-pandemic days. However, we were stunned at how the scene changed. Disney completed repainting the castle and moat area back in August. The blues became bolder, and a pink tone had been layered over much of the structure. During the daytime, the difference is striking, but at night, it is remarkably different as well. We happened to have a late Be Our Guest restaurant dining reservation last night. When we left, all the lights were on. You can notice the details alight in strong pinks and blues. As the color of Cinderella Castle was many hues lighter, it didn't appear with such bold colors. Typically, you wouldn't see the castle illuminated at night since the park closes before dark. However, some dining experiences, again, have late reservations, which would allow you to walk out, again, while it's dark out. On Wednesday, September 23rd, there will be a fireworks test on World Showcase Lagoon at Epcot. Testing is expected to conclude prior to midnight that evening. During this test, fireworks will be launched inside the park. Guests currently staying at select on-site resorts are being advised that they might hear loud noises from their rooms during the test. Typically, testing takes place before the debut of new fireworks. However, an official start date for Harmonious has not been released, nor have nighttime spectaculars returned to Walt Disney World due to current COVID-19 health and safety guidelines. Project Gamma continues as new entrance signs have been added to the main turnstiles at Epcot. The entire area has been getting refreshed as part of the newly reimagined entrance for the park, soon to become the World Celebration area. For the reopening of the park, a new rainbow color scheme came to the ticket booths, but now new futuristic signage has been installed as guests tap into the park. The blue-hued signs match the new color scheme for the area, as World Celebration is labeled by that bright blue color. In the park's new font, the stylized entrance sign welcomes guests, and on the far right end of the turnstile, the exit-only signage features the same new look. As noted by the photographer of the above image, the left side of the entrance has yet to receive these new signs, and the entrance ceiling has now been painted white from its previous yellow hue. Only a few days ago, we saw that demolition had begun and the canopy had been removed at the former electric umbrella behind Spaceship Earth. Now we've caught a glimpse that a whole section of the building has been demolished. You may notice that the interior section that was connected to the outdoor patio has been completely leveled as the restaurant is in the process of becoming something completely new. We've heard this building will be a combination of a new Starbucks and bakery, as well as a new counter service restaurant for the park, also including the space currently occupied by the temporary mouse skier in the back. It's been quiet over at the site of Space 220 in Epcot lately, with mainly landscaping being installed near the side portion of the site. Now, however, we have an exciting new development with the installation of the Space 220 sign. The sign still lies obscured behind construction walls with a white tarp over the main logo. Signage rests on a large blue sphere made to look like Earth, which you peer down on from 220 miles above while dining aboard in the restaurant in space. Just go with it. Back in March, the restaurant was set to open in April before the shutdown happened, but it seems work is slowly resuming on the project. The Mission Space Courtyard received a number of touch-ups for the upcoming opening of Space 220 in advance. You may also know that this mimics the actual Mission Space sign that's not too far away, out in the horizon-shaped planter in front of the pavilion. For a limited time, guests are now able to find exclusive Star Wars Galaxy's Edge merchandise at the downtown Disney District, Shop Disney, and now Disney Springs. Star Wars Trading Post at Disney Springs let annual pass holders get the first look at the merchandise available outside the park. Some of the items now available include plush and costumes. The wall behind the register declares that the store is now featuring shipments from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Though many collectibles and plastic lightsabers are available, no legacy lightsabers can be found at the Trading Post. You'll still have to go to Galaxy's Edge for now to find those. Basin White at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa has been closed since most of Walt Disney World shut down, but now they have reopened alongside the resort in full with new social distancing measures. Basin White sells luxurious soaps, lotions, bath bombs, and more. They're located in the lobby of the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa on the second level. Disney Springs is introducing Weekdays at Disney Springs, a new program offering 20% off discounts on select menu items at 20 Disney Springs dining locations. Weekdays at Disney Springs is running Monday to Thursday each week through October 29, 2020. You can read the full list of offerings on our website. Gideons Bakehouse is coming to the Landing in Disney Springs later this year. Construction has been underway since June, and we saw the Lindworm bookseller sign go up in August as part of the bakery's theming. Now a new sign for Gideons is hanging from the side of the building. Sign is at the corner of the building, so guests can see it no matter what direction they're coming from. The vintage-styled sign has the bakery's establishing year of 1898. The sign advertises cookies, cakes, and curiosities, and inside still a lot of work is to be done before the bakery can open. With Disney's Polynesian Village Resort not reopening in full until summer 2021, work on the resort's Great Ceremonial House is set to begin next week on September 28th. Disney has now released additional details on the refurbishment, including hours for each location and aesthetic changes coming to the resort. As part of the work completed, Disney's Polynesian Village Resort will soon feature a new entry area, a modified monorail station as well. The Great Ceremonial House will continue to include the architectural detail of cross beams, though fans who look closely will notice fewer beams, creating a more, sophisticated, cleaner design. To complete the refurbishment, work will take place on the Great Ceremonial House Sunday nights through Thursday nights from 10 p.m. to 4:30 a.m. beginning on October 4th. As a result, there will be some changes to the guest experience. On September 28th, the front desk area will move to a temporary location at the Pago Pago building, number 11. The entrance of the resort will be unavailable beginning September 28th. That's where you arrive by car or walk in through the front door. Guests arriving by personal vehicle or Magical Express will be directed to the right from the security kiosk. Operating hours will be adjusted for the following locations beginning on the 4th. Kona Cafe is Sunday through Thursday, 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. and Friday, and Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Moana Mercantile, 8 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. daily. Pineapple and I, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, and Tambu Lounge, Sunday through Thursday, will be open from 2 to 9, and Friday and Saturday from 4 to 11. The monorail station at the Polynesian Village will be closed beginning November 2nd. Disney's Polynesian villas and bungalows will remain open to guests while the rest of the resort's rooms receive a Moana-themed makeover. Additional details on this refurbishment will be shared in the near future. Even though a formal reopening date hasn't been announced yet, preparations are well underway to get Disneyland and California Adventure ready for guests. Over at Disneyland, the Mickey Mouse floral planter that greets guests as they enter the park has undergone a serious refreshing. With Disneyland closed since March, Mickey had started to fade, but now the face of the world's most famous mouse looks as bright and defined as ever. Over at Disney California Adventure, we spotted crews installing signage promoting social distancing on Buena Vista Street. You can see the rectangular sign on the ground near the red car trolley stop as it's prepared to be installed on the lamppost. Smaller circular signs are being placed in planters. This should make them easily visible by guests when they enter as well as from the benches. Signs are being installed up and down Buena Vista Street as workers quickly covered the area with them. And in keeping with current guidelines, parties are asked to stay at least 6 feet apart to help prevent the possible spread of COVID-19. Guests over the age of 2 at the Disneyland Resort are also required to wear a face mask except while remaining stationary to eat or drink. By the entrance, stickers were placed that make sections of the seating area near the front gate unavailable, helping to distance guests. With all this work going on at both parks, it seems that Disneyland Resort is ready to reopen their parks as soon as they get the green light. While there is still no reopening date, they have announced that the parks will be expanding mobile ordering at the Disneyland Resort to promote contactless payments, plus reduce crowding and wait times during peak dining hours. According to the Orange County Register, a number of new locations will be added to the mobile order service at both parks as a means of encouraging guests to use that as the primary way to order. Adjustments to the service include expanding payment options to also include Apple Pay and Disney gift cards. The minimum age for mobile ordering will also be lowered from age 18 to 13 years old. For those familiar with mobile ordering, the location that previously offered it, like Docking Bay 7, Galactic Grill, Jolly Holiday Bakery Cafe, and Flo's VA Cafe, will continue to do so. New locations include Tropical Hideaway and the Studio Catering Company, but a full list has not yet been released. Disney Parks and Resorts held a private press conference for media to discuss updates on operations during the pandemic. While things seem to be going well for Walt Disney World, Disneyland Resort theme parks, of course, are still closed. And now Disney Parks Chairman Josh D'Amaro is stepping up to pressure California Governor Gavin Newsom to announce new guidelines for reopening. Quote, "We are ready, and more importantly, it is time," said Josh D'Amaro, chairman of Disney Parks Experiences and Products, after an impassioned plea for government officials to treat theme parks as they do other sectors and announce reopening guidelines and dates. Even with rumors circulating of D'Amaro and Newsom meeting at the Disneyland Resort, it seems there is still no progress on the reopening. D'Amaro warned that the longer we wait, the more devastating the impact will be on the local economy, which supplies 80,000 jobs in the area. Reopening dates for the Disneyland Resort theme parks were not announced. Originally, some thought that might happen, but Disney did reach out to us to tell us that they would not be announcing those dates at the conference, but certainly the conference was used to put pressure on the California government. It has been announced that Disney Parks and Resorts would be opening COVID-19 testing sites for the Disneyland community. Disney previously opened a drive-through testing site here in Osceola County at the Disney Main Gate complex near Animal Kingdom. The testing site in California will also likely be close to or on Disneyland Resort property. The Florida testing site is free for both cast members and the general public, though prior registration is required. Cast members, operating participants, and their families are taken through a different testing lane, but go through the same process as the public. Currently register for a test at the Florida testing site at DisneyCovid19test.com. The same website may be used for the California testing. The magic is back at Hong Kong Disneyland. After a secondary closure due to spikes in the region, the park will be reopening on September 25th, 2020. During the reopening stage, the park will be closed on Tuesdays and Thursdays, with the exception of public holidays and special days designated by the resort. From Hong Kong Disneyland, quote, "Hong Kong Disneyland Park will be officially reopening to the public on September 25th. In alignment with the latest guidance from the health and government authorities, the resort will continue its measured approach with health and safety measures such as capacity control, health screenings, temperature checks, required face masks, social distancing, and increased cleaning and sanitization. During the initial reopening stage, the park will be implementing a new 5-day-per-week operation, and it will be closed on Tuesdays and Thursdays." The park will also continue to control capacity as required by the government. The online reservation system will remain in place, with all guests being required to reserve their visit date with valid tickets or membership cards through the Hong Kong Disneyland Park Visit Reservation website prior to arrival. Magic Access members may begin to reserve their visit for dates beginning on September 22nd. Reservations for other guests will begin at 12 p.m. on September 23rd. Guests are also required to make a health declaration as part of their reservation process. As a result of the recent closure and the current 5-day-per-week operating schedule that is in place, the resort will be providing membership extension for Magic Access members. Those are their pass holders, by the way. The park's operation and related arrangements will continue to be reviewed on an ongoing basis and adjusted as necessary to take into account the latest government regulations. Character experiences will be offered in a new way, including selfie spots around the park to allow guests to take photos with their favorite characters with the appropriate social distancing. Meanwhile, in compliance with the government's latest regulations, live performances will be restricted to outdoor venues during the initial reopening stage. A variety of special hotel and ticket packages are now available for guests to see the reimagined Disney Castle in its final stage of transformation and enjoy a long-awaited Disney staycation. The Castle of Magical Dreams is slated to launch in celebration of the resort's 15th anniversary later this year. To provide greater flexibility in planning the visit, free cancellations for park tickets and hotel bookings are available to guests through December 31st. For more details on tickets, hotels, dining, and transportation, please visit HongKongDisneyland.com. While Hong Kong Disneyland is celebrating its grand reopening on September 25th, there is some sad news to note, as they are now barred from expanding after local authorities declined to renew an agreement with the park to develop a neighboring plot of land. The 20-year purchase option for the plot, which has been reserved since 2000 for potential expansion of Hong Kong Disneyland, expires on Thursday. And due to the current economic conditions, the government will not be issuing an extension. The Commerce and Economic Development Bureau stated it would be more prudent for the park to focus on expanding its existing resort. However, Disney has made no effort to conceal their disappointment with the government's decision. In a statement to Bloomberg, Disney said the following, quote, "We will continue investing in the current expansion plan. However, we are extremely disappointed with the Hong Kong government's decision not to extend the Phase 2 land expansion option." Earlier this year, it was suggested the expansion would be used for temporary residential units, given the outbreak. While Hong Kong has not had much success over its 15-year history, it showed promise coming out of its last expansion and certainly going into the current one, which features the new castle as well as a Frozen-themed land. It's truly a shame that the resort will be landlocked from expanding further should these investments lead to higher attendance. I'll tell you, it's a charming resort. I'd love to see them do more. It's in a fantastic location. Hopefully someday they'll give them back the land for this second park. Celebrate the happiest place on earth with new Minnie ears themed to the classic Disneyland sign. The blue sequined ears feature a light pink inner velvet lining on the headband and the Disneyland marquee along the front, with each letter in the name showcased against a colorful, glittery square backdrop. The ears are modeled after the 1958 version of the Disneyland marquee, which graced Harbor Boulevard as it welcomed visitors for over 30 years. These adorable new Disneyland ears retail for $29.99. You can find them at the World of Disney in downtown Disney. Strolling through the United Kingdom Pavilion at Epcot, we noticed new Minnie Mouse ear headbands there as well. Displayed in the window at the Queen's table, this new headband features the iconic British dish, fish and chips. The front of the headband features a giant bow designed like newspaper, and the ears display a fish and a chip with a Union Jack in the background. This Minnie Mouse ear headband retails for $29.99 and can be found at the Queen's table in the United Kingdom Pavilion in Epcot. It's been 40 years since the wildest ride in the wilderness opened its station to visitors. Starting September 23rd, guests can commemorate this milestone by purchasing exclusive anniversary merchandise at the Magic Kingdom. Available at Frontier Trading Post, guests can purchase the 40th anniversary magic bands, pins, magnets, and t-shirts. Head on over to our website to check out the entire collection with pricing. For more information on these stories and more, head on over to WDWNT.com. This program is brought to you by our official travel agent sponsor, The Vacationeer, the engineers of your next magical vacation. Sit back and let their team of vacation planning experts craft your family's next magical Disney trip. The best part, their services are free. Visit WDWNT.travel for details. The Vacationeer, the official travel agency of WDWNT. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to like this video, subscribe to WDW News Today on YouTube for more great content, and click the bell for notifications. Also, make sure to hit select all notifications so you never miss an episode of the show. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying enjoy the rest of your today and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. And hang on to them hats and glasses.
Looking for the latest in Disney news on the go? Then download WDWNT, the app. From news to videos to park hours and more, WDWNT the app is your one-stop shop for the latest from the Disney world. Available on iPhone and Android, just search for WDWNT in your device's app store.